Hello, Dr. Joseph Martin here again. Welcome to a beautiful day, another new day here on Earth. This is an introduction to the first in a series, this is just a brief introduction, of the great female spiritual masters that the Earth has known. And these will be very interesting and important, I would say, for people listening in, because these issues have to do with all that has been degraded and hidden and buried and tortured within human society and civilizations for quite a few millennia, with the paternalistic patriarchal hegemony of destroying the feminine within men and within women and culture itself. The first one that we'll be speaking about is Rabi'a, the great female Muslim Sufi mystic, doctor, teacher, poet, philosopher, and healer. In fact, she brought people back from the dead. Rabi'a lived at the time of Muhammad, peace be upon him and bless his holy name, and was born in Basra, Iraq, in 717 in the Common Era, and passed over back into spirit in 804 in the Common Era. She was the fourth daughter of a very poor but well-respected father and mother in that territory. And early on in her life, she felt committed to the one light of the Spirit and seemed to have some internal knowing of herself in her own heart. Her father recognized this. There's many stories about Rabi'a, but here is one of them that's interesting. The family was so poor that the father never had enough oil for his lamps to light them at night to keep the people in his family's members warm and or be able to cook any food and so on. He used to go out pretending that he was going to borrow money or borrow oil from somebody, but he always said to God, I feel like I can just rely on you and I don't need to go out and beg for anything, so I'll wait until these things come to pass. Well, of course, he was provided for, his family did survive, and he ended up, though, having a short life, but a very spiritually respected life, well thought of in his community, and certainly by the spirit world. Upon the father's death, Rabi'a Al-Adawiyya, she was going to Mecca in a caravan, and she was riding a donkey, and at one point the donkey died from exhaustion. She was able to bring the donkey back to life, which was the first of her many great healing miracles that she performed in her life. As the caravan proceeded towards the Kaaba in Mecca, the whole caravan was attacked by some robbers and bandits, and she was taken prisoner, and she was sold at an auction to a slave master in the nearby territories. Now, this slave master was a very cruel man. He actually was procuring sexual advantage over her and bound her in iron chains day and night and had her scrub floors and clean things for him. She had absolutely no freedom. She was his personal captive. Of course, we know stories like that today, don't we? So what happened, though, she used to cry out to God in her own song, and in even a joyful way, saying, God, you know how much I love you. You come first. You are the creator of the universe. You're the creator of all humankind and the earth. You give me everything I need. You give me my body. You give me my feelings. You give me my spirit. You give me all my thoughts. And even the prayers and songs that I give back to you all come from you. There isn't anything in the universe that doesn't come from you. And for this, I bless you and thank you. And knowing that you wouldn't want me to be the slave of another human man, I'm happy if you would at some point release me from this so I can serve you only. It so happened that 3 nights in a row, this slave master heard her singing all night long in this way. And on the 3rd morning, he actually let her go and said, I will take the chains off you. I will let you go. You are free now to be independent. No longer do you ever need to come back. And that's exactly what she did. She blessed him and left. And she became one of the great Sufi mystics of her time and of all time, in fact. So much so that there was a lot of jealousy from the male sheikhs and other clerics, even though they did respect her greatly. So again, a great Sufi philosopher, mystic, Wali we call her, a holy one, and she was able to show the whole Muslim tradition just how beautiful a soulful relationship, a personal relationship with the Creator and with Muhammad, peace be upon him, can be. The message for us, for Rabi'a, in our time, is that we need to personalize our spiritual connection to the source, to the Creator, to all the great spiritual masters of all the religions and mystical traditions of all time, so that we can actually know inside in our super consciousness and our consciousness and our day-to-day fun and joy and laughter that we have with each other and with ourselves, to always feel grateful for being blessed to have this life, to have this body, to be able to have a spiritual connection with the source of all that is. And this is quite an astonishing fact that many of us either don't know or we've just passed by. What we need to understand from all of this, in a time where in this 21st century, and Rabi'a was 1,300 years ago, although she still lives now, I remember the day that I met her again in this life, and I was a very young man, and she lives in my heart. We talk together all the time. There's nothing I don't do that isn't in some kind of a respectful communication with her, asking her for her suggestions and giving me some advice and giving me some hope and some faith. She lives in my heart, and I know she will in yours as well. This time is a time when a great global superconsciousness is coming up from inside people's hearts. People are getting out of their minds, and people often say to me, Joseph, you're out of your mind. And I say, yes, well, at least I'm in my heart. And this is a time for all of us to come into our heart. What we need to redeem and regenerate and come alive and awaken to again is the female mystical spiritual unity feeling, an emotional and psychological experience of unity with the divine in the blessed goddess, God, Father, Mother, God, Goddess of all that is. The unification of the balance and harmony of the masculine and feminine, both the spiritual and the human masculine and feminine within ourselves. No longer need we or can we degrade the poor, the women, the ethnic minorities, the indigenous peoples, or even the Earth Mother herself. But we do want our society to continue to survive and thrive, and 7 generations from now, we do want our descendants to have something here to live with. This is a quite exciting time. The deep feminine spiritual masters are with us. You can speak with them, you can meet with them. In further videos, we will talk about quite a few other known and relatively unknown historical great female spiritual mystics and masters. Until we see each other again next time, and of course, blessings be upon you, and Om Namah Shivaya, and may Rabi'a light your way, guide your heart, and fill you with overwhelming joy. All blessings.